Him,
You
officer.
need to come with me, sir, right now.
Officer, I have a 10 a.m. appointment. Check the schedule.
The lady says you're trespassing. Turn around.
She's mistaken. I'm here to acquire this company.
Sure you are. Hands behind
My
your back.
credentials are in my portfolio.
This is unlawful.
Last warning.
On the ground or you're getting
I am not
tased.
resisting.
Do not
This is
touch
unlawful
me.
detention.
Marcus Chen completed the acquisition anyway. Then he sued Curtis personally for discrimination and business interference. The settlement came down to $4.1 million. One phone call, her entire career destroyed. Before I continue, let me ask you, have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power just based on how you look? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear your stories. But Dana Curtis had no idea who she was actually dealing with that morning. His name was Marcus Chen. He wasn't just some random person in a suit. He was the CEO and founder of Chen Acquisitions. He ran an entire company that bought other companies and made them profitable again. Chen had 15 years of experience in venture capital and corporate deals. He started his first tech company when he was 26 years old. He built it from nothing to $12 million in revenue within 5 years. Then he sold it. After that, he started buying other companies. He completed 47 successful acquisitions. That's not a guess. That's his actual track record. He had a degree from Stanford, not just any degree, an MBA from one of the best business schools in the world. He specialized in taking struggling companies and fixing them. His employees stayed with him. 94% of workers kept their jobs after he took over a company. That's way higher than normal. Most companies only keep 67% of employees. On Tuesday, March 14th, Marcus Chen was doing his job. He was showing up to a scheduled meeting to save a company from going under. He had no idea that the first person he would meet would cost him years of fighting in court. He had no idea that the receptionist at the front desk would make assumptions about him in 3 seconds. 3 seconds that would change everything. Now here's what you need to know about Dana Curtis. She wasn't just a receptionist. She had built a reputation at TechFlow Engineering that extended way beyond answering phones. She had worked at the company for 8 years. She had been promoted 3 times. She had significant power over who got to see the company's leadership. That's the thing about gatekeepers. They control access, and Curtis loved that power. Between 2019 and 2024, TechFlow's HR department received 23 complaints involving Curtis. Not all were formal. Many employees simply changed their behavior to avoid her. The pattern was always the same. Curtis made assumptions about people based on appearance. She decided who belonged and who didn't, and she was dismissive toward anyone she deemed not the right fit. Let me give you specific examples. In 2021, a young South Asian engineer showed up for a scheduled meeting with the VP of Engineering. Curtis directed him to the service entrance in the back, like he was making a delivery. The incident was logged in HR, but nothing was done. In 2022, a female investment banker came in for a meeting with the CEO. Curtis told her the executive meetings were upstairs and she should wait in the lobby. She was supposed to be there. In 2023, Curtis called security on a black consultant hired by the company's board to do operational audits. She said he looked suspicious and didn't belong in the building. He was in the executive conference room for 6 hours. She had called security before she even checked if he was supposed to be there. The employees had a nickname for Curtis. They called her the gatekeeper, not with affection, with dread, but this time was different. This time, Curtis chose the wrong person to disrespect. This time, there were cameras. This time, he had lawyers. Type justice if you think she deserved what happened. Let me know what you think in the comments. Tuesday, March 14th, 2022, 9:47 in the morning. TechFlow Engineering headquarters in San Jose, California. A mid-size engineering firm with 87 employees taking up an entire floor. Glass doors, minimalist lobby, framed photos of past projects on the walls. It was a normal Tuesday morning. The coffee station was being restocked. 3 employees were scanning their badges at the entrance. A client was checking in for a 10 a.m. meeting with the design team. You could hear keyboards clicking, quiet conversations, the occasional laugh from the development area. This was just another day. Dana Curtis was at the front desk filing documents. 2 other office staff were working in the back area. The CEO, Robert Morrison, was in his office. He was preparing for the 10 a.m. appointment he had been waiting for. He had been negotiating this deal with Marcus Chen for 3 months. Security guard James Rivera was stationed near the building entrance. He was having coffee. At 9:47 a.m., the lobby doors opened. Marcus Chen walked in. He wore a charcoal gray tailored suit, Italian leather shoes. He carried a thin leather portfolio W. With Chen Acquisitions printed on it in gold lettering. He walked with quiet confidence, the kind of confidence that comes from sitting in boardrooms, from making big decisions. He approached the desk where Dana Curtis was working. "Good morning," Chen said. "I have a 9:50 a.m. appointment with Robert Morrison. My name is Marcus Chen." He placed his business card on the desk. It read, "Marcus Chen, Chief Executive Officer, Chen Acquisitions, San Francisco." Dana Curtis glanced up. She looked at the suit. She looked at his face. She made a decision in less than 3 seconds. That decision would destroy her career. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. We're going to expose how this kind of thing happens every single day. "I think you're in the wrong place," Curtis said. Her tone was cold, dismissive. "The service entrance is in the back." "I'm sorry," Chen replied. His voice stayed calm. "I have an appointment with Robert Morrison. I'm here for our 10 o'clock meeting." Curtis didn't even look up at him. "We're not hiring for executive positions. I don't think you're qualified for the positions we do have available." "I'm not here for employment," Chen explained, still professional, still patient. "I'm here to meet about acquiring this company. I'm the CEO of Chen Acquisitions." Curtis laughed, actually laughed. "You're buying TechFlow? That's ridiculous. You need to leave. We don't allow solicitation." "Your CEO is expecting me," Chen said. His voice stayed steady. "We've been in negotiations for 3 months. If you could just call Robert's office." "Look," Curtis interrupted. Her voice got louder, more aggressive. "I don't know what game you're running, but it's not going to work. I've been here 8 years. I know everyone who matters in this company, and you're not one of them." "Then I suggest you call him now," Chen replied. His boundary was clear, professional, firm. "My name is Marcus Chen. Tell him his 10 o'clock is here." Curtis stood up. She was done being polite. "You know what? You're making me very uncomfortable. If you don't leave right now, I'm going to call security. I'll have you escorted out, and I'll tell everyone you tried to break in with a fake business card." "I'm not leaving," Chen said. "No anger, just resolve. Call security if you need to, but also call Robert Morrison, because he's going to want to know why his acquisition partner is being escorted out of his building." A client waiting in the lobby lowered her phone. She was watching, uncomfortable with the tension. A woman named Jennifer Liu, who worked in administration, watched from her desk. She could see everything from where she sat. Security guard James Rivera shifted his weight. Something was wrong, but he wasn't sure what to do yet. Curtis's voice got even louder. "I don't appreciate your tone. I don't appreciate you coming in here and refusing to leave." She picked up her desk phone. Her hand was shaking. She dialed security. "Security, I have someone here claiming he's buying the company. Please escort him out immediately." She hung up. She had made her choice. She had no idea what she had just started. Security guard James Rivera arrived at the lobby desk 90 seconds later. He looked uncomfortable, apologetic. He knew something was wrong. "I'm sorry, sir, but I'm going to need you to come with me." Before Chen could even respond, the elevator doors opened. Robert Morrison stepped out. He looked confused. Why wasn't his 10 o'clock here yet? Why was security moving towards someone in the lobby? Then he saw the face. He saw the suit. He saw Marcus Chen being escorted toward the door. Morrison's face went white. Wait, that's Marcus Chen. That's my 10 o'clock. He stepped toward them. His voice was controlled. "But I see. That's the man buying our company for $40 million. That's the investment partner we've been negotiating with for 3 months. Curtis looked confused, then defensive. "He said he was buying the company. I thought he was a scammer." "He is buying the company," Morrison said. His words were sharp. "You just tried to throw out the only investor willing to save this place from going under. We are failing, Curtis. This company was dying, and he was our only option." Jennifer Liu stood up from her desk. "I saw the whole thing." She told him the service entrance was in the back when he first walked in. He was completely respectful. He just said he had an appointment. The client who had been waiting spoke up too. "This is ridiculous. This man was polite the entire time. She was the one being aggressive." Even James Rivera, the security guard, added his voice. "I didn't see any threat. He wasn't aggressive. He was just waiting." Morrison turned to Jennifer immediately. Get the security footage from the last 10 minutes. Send it to me now. The lobby had 3 camera angles, one facing the main desk, one covering the entrance, one by the elevator. All 3 had recorded ever. Ithing, the timestamp showed 9:47 to 9:58 a.m. 11 minutes. 11 minutes of clear proof. Morrison called his legal team at 10:03 a.m. That call was documented in his calendar. By 10:15 a.m., TechFlow's lawyers from Martinez and Associates were on a conference call with Morrison and Chen. By 11 a.m., they had filed something called a preservation notice. It meant all footage and records could not be deleted. Ever. This was evidence now. Curtis realized almost immediately that she had made a catastrophic mistake. Her face went from red with anger to pale with fear. She tried to backtrack. I was just doing my job. I was protecting the company. Morrison didn't even look at her. You were discriminating based on his appearance, and you just cost us $40 million. At 11:30 a.m., Curtis tried to call Robert to apologize. He didn't take the call. Her emails to him were blocked within the hour. By noon, she had been placed on suspension. The legal team was already building their case. Curtis had handed them everything they needed: witnesses, footage, her own words, and documented financial harm worth millions of dollars. Comment below if you think she deserved immediate termination. I want to know what you think about this moment right here. By 2 p.m. that same day, 3 attorneys from Martinez and Associates arrived at TechFlow's offices. They were led by Sarah Martinez. She was a senior litigation partner who specialized in employment discrimination and civil rights cases. She had handled dozens of cases like this. She knew exactly what she was looking for. Sarah reviewed the security footage on the conference room monitor. All 11 minutes, 3 different camera angles. She watched Curtis dismiss Chen. She watched Curtis's face when Morrison told her the truth. She watched everything. The investigation moved fast. Sarah reviewed Curtis's appointment confirmation email. Chen had sent it 3 months ago. There were follow-up emails too. Everything was documented. Sarah reviewed Curtis's personnel file. 8 years of employment, 23 HR complaints, previous incidents logged, the South Asian engineer in 2021, the investment banker in 2022, the consultant in 2023, a clear pattern. Then Sarah did something important. She reviewed the security footage from 18 months prior. Curtis had made similar assumptions about other visitors of color, different interactions, but the same pattern, the same gatekeeping, same dismissiveness. This wasn't just one bad moment. This was a pattern of behavior. Sarah interviewed witnesses that same afternoon. Jennifer Liu, the waiting client, James Rivera, they all told the same story. Curtis was wrong, Chen was respectful, Curtis was aggressive, Chen was patient. When Sarah reviewed Curtis's sworn statement to HR, Curtis actually admitted it. I just had a feeling he didn't belong here, Curtis said. In writing, under oath, that statement was going to destroy her. By 4:30 p.m., Sarah Martinez sent a confidential memo to TechFlow's board. It was blunt. Curtis violated Title VII, that's the federal law against racial discrimination. TechFlow faced legal liability if they didn't act. Their best move was to terminate Curtis immediately, prove they took it seriously, and offer Chen a settlement to prevent a massive lawsuit that could damage both parties. Curtis was called into HR at 5 p.m. She was given a termination letter. She tried to argue, I was just doing my job. The HR representative read from the investigation notes. You admitted in your statement that you made assumptions about Mr. Chen based on how he looked. That's the definition of discrimination. Curtis protested, everyone does this. That statement was added to her file. It made everything worse. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. We keep fighting for accountability and justice. You need to see what happens when people actually face consequences. By 6:30 p.m., Curtis was unemployed. By 7 p.m., her name was flagged in 3 separate industry databases, a discrimination liability. By 8 p.m., her attorney was calling TechFlow's legal team. What would it take to make this go away? Here's where the story exploded. At 6:45 p.m. that same day, Jennifer Liu uploaded the security footage to Twitter. Her caption was simple, direct. Just watched my company's receptionist assume a man was a scammer based on his skin color. He was actually the CEO buying our company for $40 million. She got fired. This is what racism looks like. Within 30 minutes, The tweet had 12,000 retweets and 8,400 comments. Local Silicon Valley tech journalists started sharing it, reporters noticed. By 8:45 p.m., 2 hours later, the video hit 1.2 million views. It was trending on Twitter's main page under discrimination and tech industry. P.O. Plea couldn't stop watching it, couldn't stop sharing it. The next morning at 6:30 a.m., after 12 hours, local news outlets started calling. NBC Bay Area News Group. They wanted interviews with Chen and TechFlow. The story had 4.2 million combined views across all platforms. By Wednesday afternoon, CNBC picked up the story. Bloomberg reported on the acquisition deal itself. The video reached 12 million views. Friday morning brought national coverage. CNN, Fox Business, MSNBC, news outlets were treating this as an example of racial discrimination in the tech industry, a real moment captured on film. The numbers were massive. Twitter alone showed 18.7 million views, 245,000 retweets, 389,000 comments. TikTok creators re-uploaded the footage, 24.3 million views across TikTok. YouTube versions reached 31 million views. Instagram had 8.9 million shares. Reddit threads on justice served got 450,000 upvotes. People commented with support. A tech industry executive who stayed anonymous said something important. "This happens constantly, we just don't usually have footage. This is what accountability looks like." A civil rights attorney made a public statement. "This case represents textbook discrimination. The evidence is overwhelming. Curtis's termination was the minimum required response." Jennifer Liu was interviewed on CNBC. She said exactly what happened. "We all knew about her pattern. We just didn't think anyone would do anything about it. Seeing her face consequences, it matters." One social media comment went viral. It got 2.1 million likes. One receptionist ended her entire career in 11 minutes of video footage. That's not cancel culture, that's consequences. Major news outlets published analysis. NPR ran a story called "The Algorithm Doesn't See Color, but Gatekeepers Do." The Atlantic published Silicon Valley's racism problem captured on film. Vox wrote how one phone call cost a woman her career and why it should have cost her more. TechFlow issued an official statement. "We have terminated the employee responsible for this discriminatory conduct. We are implementing comprehensive anti-bias training and establishing new protocols for visitor verification that eliminate subjective judgments." Curtis's lawyer sent a cease and desist to Jennifer Liu. It was ineffective. The video was already on 47 different platforms. Curtis posted a statement. "I'm deeply sorry for my actions. I was wrong." It got 890,000 negative responses in 24 hours. Someone found her LinkedIn profile. Within hours, 1,200 recruiter recommendations were changed to negative ratings. She deactivated her profile by Friday morning. This story was shared millions of times. Share it if you think others should see this. Comment if you believe people should face real consequences for discrimination. On March 21st, 1 week after the incident, Chen's legal team filed suit. They sued both TechFlow Engineering and Dana Curtis personally. The charges were serious: racial discrimination in violation of federal law, intentional infliction of emotional distress, tortious interference with business relations. That means Curtis interfered with his business deal. They also added defamation. Curtis had suggested Chen was a scammer with fake credentials. During discovery, the legal process where both sides share evidence, TechFlow was forced to produce everything. Curtis's complete personnel file from 8 years of employment. All 23 HR complaints involving Curtis dating back to 2016. Email records showing her pattern of gatekeeping. Security footage from 18 months prior showing similar incidents. Testimony from 14 employees describing discriminatory treatment. Curtis's own sworn deposition where she admitted something damaging. "I just had a feeling he didn't belong here." That statement was recorded. It was under oath. It was going to be used against her. The numbers in the settlement were staggering. Chen received $3.2 million for emotional distress, business interference, lost opportunity costs. An additional $900,000 covered legal fees and court costs. Total payment to Chen, $4.1 million. Curtis faced personal liability. She was held personally responsible for $2.8 million. That individual discrimination claim fell on her shoulders. TechFlow paid the remaining $1.3 million. Curtis's portion was astronomical for one person. She didn't have that kind of money saved up. The settlement included social consequences too. Curtis was barred from working in the tech industry within 50 miles of San Jose for 10 years. That's a huge territory. Her professional licenses, the certifications she held in human resources management, were revoked by the issuing board. Their reason, conduct unbecoming the profession. She received a permanent restraining order preventing her from contacting Chen, his family, or any business he owned. No criminal charges were filed. It wasn't a criminal case, but a civil record of discrimination remained public. Forever, any future employer who searched her name would find this. Wait until you hear what happened next. Curtis's attorney issued a required statement. Ms. Curtis deeply regrets her actions and the harm caused. She accepts responsibility. But privately, Curtis tried to negotiate. She wanted to reduce her personal liability from $2.8 million down to $500,000. That request was denied. The settlement was final. 18 months later, Curtis declared personal bankruptcy. She couldn't pay the damages. The debt was too large. Her financial life was essentially over. In a statement released through his legal team, Marcus Chen said something important. This case was never about money for me. It was about establishing that discrimination has consequences, that assumptions about someone's appearance don't determine their value or their place in a room. I hope this settlement sends a clear message. Gatekeeping based on race is not acceptable, and there is a price for it. The settlement was finalized in January 2023, 10 months after the incident. Dana Curtis's career in tech was finished, but the conversation she started was just beginning, because this wasn't just about one receptionist or one CEO. This was about a much bigger problem. In February 2023, Marcus Chen gave a recorded statement for publication. He sat in his office in San Francisco, minimalist design, large windows overlooking the city. He was professional but not stiff. He wanted people to understand his perspective. Honestly, Chen said, I was furious at first. Then I was exhausted. 10 months of legal proceedings, depositions, having to relive that 11-minute moment over and over. My legal team handled most of it, but it was still in the back of my mind constantly. The bigger impact was realizing this happens to people every single day, and they don't have the resources I do, lawyers, business connections, the ability to publicly fight back. That's what kept me going through the settlement process. Chen continued, in 15 years in venture capital, I've evaluated hundreds of companies. I've learned to look past surface-level assumptions and assess actual value. That's literally my job. The irony is that same skill should be basic human decency, right? But it's not. It's revolutionary. Curtis made an assumption in 3 seconds that cost her entire career because she couldn't look past the surface. He had advice for workers. If you're a service worker, a receptionist, an assistant, anyone in a gatekeeping role, you have authority. But that authority comes with responsibility. Using it to discriminate isn't protecting anyone. It's weaponizing a position. If you're being treated the way I was treated, you have more power than you probably think. Document it. Get witnesses. Don't accept that this is just how it is, because it's not how it has to be. He had a message for customers too. Respect is not negotiable. It's not contingent on your assumptions about someone's appearance or status. Every person deserves basic human respect, and that starts with not assuming their value based on how they look. When you witness discrimination, call it out. Don't just let it happen silently. When asked what he wanted to change, Chen was clear. I want policy change. I want every company in tech, and honestly every company period, to have clear documented protocols for verification that don't rely on human assumption. I want real consequences for discrimination, not just diversity statements and mandatory training. I want the conversation to shift from, was this person discriminated against, to why did we ever accept this as normal? He showed gratitude too. I need to thank Jennifer Liu and the other employees who witnessed this and documented it. I need to thank my legal team for taking this seriously and fighting hard. But I also need to be clear. No amount of gratitude erases the fact that this shouldn't have happened in the first place. His final message was powerful. We talk a lot about breaking glass ceilings and removing barriers to entry, but sometimes the barrier is someone standing at a desk deciding you don't belong based on a glance. That has to stop, not because of settlements or legal pressure, but because we have to decide together that it's beneath us as a society. The Chen case revealed something bigger about discrimination in corporate America. Harvard Business Review studied this in 2022. 58% of Asian professionals in tech report experiencing discrimination. 67% of Latino professionals. 71% of Black professionals. These numbers are real. They represent millions of people. The EEOC received 33,288 discrimination complaints in 2021. Only 0.8% resulted in significant settlements. That means 99.2% of documented discrimination cases had minimal consequences. The system is broken. A Stanford study found that gatekeepers made assumptions about professional status based on race 73% of the time, independent of actual credentials, independent of qualifications, 73% of the time. The average discrimination settlement in 2022 was $127,000. The Chen settlement of $4.1 million was in the 99th percentile. Why? Because the documentation was irrefutable. Most cases never reach this level of evidence. So let me ask you, do you believe that one person's assumption should determine another person's access? Do you believe that discrimination should only be punished when it's caught on camera? Do you believe we've actually done enough to change this, or do we still have a lot of work to do? Because if the answer is that's not my problem, or that's just how the world works, then we're just waiting for the next Dana Curtis, the next 11-minute video, the next $4.1 million settlement that solves nothing about the actual problem. We are treating the symptom, we're ignoring the disease. Comment below if you believe discrimination should automatically result in criminal charges, not just civil settlements. That's a controversial take, but this is the platform to have that conversation. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding better. We're going to keep fighting for accountability, fighting for systemic change, fighting for a world where your appearance doesn't determine your access or your credibility or your career. This isn't just about Dana Curtis's terrible decision or Marcus Chen's legal victory. It's about all of us, everyone who's ever been judged by appearance, everyone who's ever been gatekept by assumption, everyone who's been told you don't belong here by someone with no authority to make that judgment. That's what we're fighting. That's what has to change. See you in the next one.